In this video, you'll see me replace the starter on a 07 to 2013 GM V8 product. It's same for a 4.8, 5.3, and 6.0 engines. Started off by removing the battery negative connection there so things don't get sparky underneath when we're doing the connections down there. And GM says to remove the wheel and the inner fender liner, which actually simplifies this process a lot. If you take a little bit of time now, you'll be saving yourself time later by doing that, especially if you're working on the ground with a jack or something like that. Really simplifies things. So a few screws, connectors, a harness with some push-in clips there that hold that harness to the inner liner. Once that's out, you got great starter access. Going to remove this bolt that holds the inspection cover in place, and then the two bolts that hold the starter in place. And then back the starter out a little ways. That'll give you some space to work with on the connections. This one had a zip tie on the solenoid connection, and then taking off the battery positive connection from the starter. And then the starter, you can fish it out however is easiest. It will come out. You just got to find the right magic spot to bring it out between the exhaust manifold and the frame. Match up your starters, the new one, make sure it's going to be the right fit going in, and then work it in through the same hole. Clock it correctly into position so that when you make the connections, harnesses and places will be, things will be correctly routed. On with the battery positive lead, and then the solenoid connector. This one didn't require a zip tie, the brake was on the previous starter. Cleaning up the hardware as well as the inspection cover, and then back in with the inspection cover and snug that up. Taking off that inspection cover just makes the starter come out easier. And then I started the bolts by hand into the starter itself, and then zinged them in with an impact, but not too crazy tight on the torque there. It doesn't call for a lot of foot-pounds. Then the heat shield's on, and inspecting it here to make sure everything looks correct and is fully seated. Back in with all the clips, screws, and then the wheel. And then it'll be back on with the battery negative connection. And that finishes up the starter on this pickup. I hope you found this useful. I appreciate you watching. I hope you like and subscribe.